Welcome back, race fans. As always, I'm your host, Russ Fritz.
And I'm Jason Schweitzer.
And if you thought the intensity would drop off after the month of money, you were dead wrong. The week of August 17th through the 24th just delivered one of the most brutal, high stakes stretches in the entire motorsports calendar. We are talking about a complete collision of urban street racing history, wet weather NASCAR strategy, and high attrition dirt track survival. Today, we're getting our hands dirty with Logan Schuchart's veteran masterclass at the World of Outlaws Jackson Nationals, plus all the grassroots racing from Ohio, as well as the high limit West Coast swing where Corey Day continued his meteoric rise. Then we're breaking down the monumental inaugural Freedom 250 on the streets of Washington, D.C., where Kyle Kirkwood dominated the National Mall and Álex Palou's championship hopes took a massive, disastrous hit. Finally, we hit the pavement at New Hampshire Motor Speedway as Ryan Blaney flexed Team Penske's flat track muscle in a wild, rain delayed NASCAR thriller. Strap in, visor down, because this isn't just racing, it's switching grooves. Well, why did it go to this scene? Ha! Okay, let's go back to this scene. There we go. That's better.
Much better.
Okay, whatever. This app updated, so now it's all glitchy. That's wonderful. I love when they do that. So, anyway, late August is traditionally an absolute crucible for sprint car racing teams. Now, coming immediately off of the physical and financial drain of the Knoxville Nationals earlier in the month, surviving teams are actually forced to battle profound fatigue, depleted parts inventories, and shifting track surfaces. The premier dirt event of the August 17th through the 24th window was the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series stop at Jackson Motorplex in Minnesota for the Jackson Nationals on August 21st and 22nd. The 4/10 mile clay oval is actually known for its wide sweeping corners that carry tremendous momentum, requiring 900 plus horsepower engines that can operate at maximum RPMs for extended durations. The weekend was highlighted by a spectacular duel between Logan Schuchart and Sheldon Haudenschild. In qualifying, Casey Jeterzek actually set quick time with a blistering 13.18 second lap. That's quick. So next we have Emerson Axel, Haudenschild, and Christopher Throm actually picked up the heat race victories, while Jacob Peterson survived the Microlight Last Chance Showdown to win that and transfer into the A. Now, Schuchart laid down an early marker by winning the 6-lap Toyota Dash to earn the pole position for the main event. In the grueling 30-lap NOS Energy Drink sprint car feature, Schuchart utilized the heavy track, tacky moisture, and all that good stuff on the very bottom groove, and led the first 17 laps. But however, as the track slicked off, well, we all know what was to come. Well, Sheldon Haudenschild. He is known for his aggressive driving style. He tracked down the leader, and he drove into the top spot via the bottom lane. What? It was lap 18 in turn 2. That's where it was. But for back-to-back laps, Haudenschild and Schuchart were separated by less than a tenth of a second, while Donnie Schatz and Carson Macedo furiously swapped the third and fourth positions right behind them. Schuchart actually ultimately adjusted his line, tracked down Haudenschild, and on lap 26, yes, lap 26, Schuchart executed a massive race-winning slide job in 3 and 4 and reclaimed the lead and pulled away to actually win by 1.12 seconds. It marked Schuchart's fifth career World of Outlaws triumph at Jackson Motorplex and the second most in series history. Macedo executed a final lap pass on Schatz to secure the final spot on the podium. An underlying trend highlighted by this race is the impressive rise of Buddy Kofoid, who charged from 18th to 6th to earn the hard charger honors, indicating a highly adaptable chassis setup capable of navigating the abrasive, dry slick conditions. And while the World of Outlaws battled in Minnesota, the rival High Limit Racing Series was engaged on the West Coast, sparking a major shakeup in their championship standings. At Santa Maria Raceway, Aaron Reisel delivered a clutch performance, winning the feature and successfully wrestling the championship points lead away from his rivals. The series then moved to Placerville Speedway in California for the highly lucrative grocery outlet Gold Rush Classic. And at Placerville, it is a tight, high-banked quarter-mile bull ring that presents a stark contrast to tracks like Jackson. But the young phenom Corey Day, he continued his meteoric rise by securing the victory. And Day's victory required extreme reflex precision and a ton of throttle control. That further validated the hype surrounding his multidisciplinary talents as he simultaneously explores pavement racing in the NASCAR ranks. Over on the All-Star Circuit of Champions end, they embarked on their highly anticipated Michigan swing, a weekend defined by severe adversity both on and off the track. The series was dealt a heartbreaking blow with the unexpected passing of competition director Noel Dawson, forcing the series to rapidly reshuffle its staffing, and Mother Nature further complicated matters as a localized thunderstorm washout last Friday night's scheduled event at I-96. However, the series did rebound on Saturday at Butler Motor Speedway for the Chuck Wilson Memorial, and Cale Thomas, driving the Brian Grove Racing number 45, put on an incredible show, taking the victory in a thrilling near photo finish to actually secure the coveted trophy. Awesome run. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. Great job to Cale Thomas. Cale is a pretty good friend of mine, so congratulations to him. I'm happy for him. Glad to see him get that victory, especially in that car. I know Devin Borden stepped out of that car for the rest of the year, which was nothing new. It wasn't a firing. This was a plan. This was planned ahead of time. Devin Borden was not going to run the entire season in that car. So we'll see what happens next season. But I do believe that Cale will finish this season in that car. At least I'm hoping so. I don't want to see Devin get booted out of it, but if Cale is able to make a deal with them and Devin is cool with it, I will be all for that, and I'll be happy for him. So good luck to him in securing a full-time ride again. So, but the regional ecosystem in Ohio remains the vital structure backbone of the sport in the Midwest. Operating under the Attica Fremont Championship Series banner, local blue-collar racers delivered massive performances. At Attica Raceway Park on August 21st, Cap Henry authored a dominant comeback because of his overwhelming success in 2025. Attica instituted a new feature lineup wrinkle in 2026 to force Henry to pass more cars. Kind of horseshit if you ask me, but whatever. Starting 8th in the Cali's Performance Products 410 A main, Henry carved through the field, moving to 3rd by lap 5 and 2nd by lap 10. But on lap 22, Henry and race-long leader Larry Kingsley Jr. banged wheels. Oh, excuse me. entering turn one in heavy lap traffic. Now, Henry emerged with the lead and drove away to his fourth win of the year at Attica. The $6,000 total payday pushed Henry back into the AFCS points lead, and in Attica's supporting divisions, Rusty Schlenk dominated the UMP late model feature for his 50th career victory at the racetrack and the 299th of his career overall, while Brian Zabito drove from seventh to win the Fremont Fence 305 sprint car feature, keeping him firmly atop the 305 AFCS standings. Fremont Speedway continues to run in tandem with Attica, setting up a highly competitive stretch run for local teams as the weather begins to cool heading into September. Now, Fremont was off this past week due to the fair, and they will be off again this coming Saturday. They did race tonight at the fair, the annual fair race, the 305 race. I believe they raced school buses tonight, and I'm not sure who has won either one of those yet. But I tried to make it short, sweet, and to the point. So, Jason, let's bring you in and let you talk about your specialty here, because I don't know a whole lot about it, but I'll lead off with what I do have. So, the crown jewel of the mid-August paved motorsports slate was the inaugural Freedom 250 Grand Prix of Washington, D.C., an NTT IndyCar Series event that successfully merged high-speed motorsport with the iconic architectural of the National Mall. Now, hosted on a newly constructed 1.7 mile, 7-turn temporary street circuit, the race represented the strategic triumph for IndyCar executives. The event initiated with the green flag waved by President Donald J. Trump. It drew massive crowds and elevated the series' visibility on a global scale. The 147 lap, 250 mile contest was entirely commanded by Andretti Global's Kyle Kirkwood. Was it? Or was it
Yes,
not?
it was Kyle Kirkwood. Yes,
So he drives the number 27 Sam's Club Honda. Is that right?
that is correct.
Okay. So how did that go? Where did he start? You know, how did it come to be that he commanded this race, and how did that look while it was going on? I just took some
Um,
notes from what I saw. I didn't actually watch it. So,
yeah, so he started in second because Álex Palou was the pole sitter for the race, and he led 142 of the 170. I'm sorry, he led 142 of 147 laps. He was just dominant after he took the lead
wow.
early on from Palou.
Yeah, that
Uh,
that was quite impressive when I was reading about it and checking into it, doing a little research, just so I had a few notes to talk with you about it.
that's understandable. Yeah, I was shocked that they actually did 147 laps on a temporary street course. They've never seen that before. Usually the distance is a lot
Now,
shorter than laps. So,
now from what I read, I believe it was what uh he took the lead like a real aggressively going into turn one and turn two on the opening lap.
oh yeah, I think he was trying to hold back, but he just moved along too fast than he thought and aggressively passed Palou and sailed from there and just smoked the rest of the field.
So it seemed like he just orchestrated an entire master class when it comes to tire management on a street course. I mean, that's what I take out of it because he led a what 128 laps of 147. I
Yeah,
mean,
128. Yeah, that's quite impressive. Sorry.
I mean that's just crazy to me, man. The mechanical grip and dampening on that. setup had to allow him to actually absorb the inevitable bumps that I was hearing about. I mean, I was seeing and hearing that it was really, really bumpy down at least a couple of those streets.
Yeah, I think it was turn 3 or 4, and then like turn 7 is pretty bumpy. They were saying kind of like they had
So,
experience at Markham a week ago. It was pretty bumpy out there in Canada as well. So
so what was the gap in there once he actually pulled away from the field?
I believe it was over a 2 second, between 2 and 8 second lead or margin over second place. Uh, the guy he ran away from was sorry, Will Power was in third, trying to make his move. He was trying to catch Palou, but Palou, of course, he fell way back and finished back in the field. Who was that? Oh, it was I guess Christian Lundgaard. I think you say how you pronounce his name for Arrow McLaren.
It beats me, bud.
Yeah, if I butchered it, my mistake, Van. Sorry, but I believe it was Christian
It
Lundgaard.
happens. I say I've got that the gap actually exceeded 16 seconds over the field during green flag stints, but I could be wrong. That's why I'm asking you because I did not watch it.
Um, I followed a little bit of it because I was in and out of the house that day, but I did watch it on a free streaming platform on my phone, and it was, like you said, 16 second during green
Now
flag pits.
the final finish was a 3 second gap, at the finish line, and he was ahead of Christian Lundgaard. I believe that's
That's
how we
it.
were saying that.
Yeah.
So I mean, but to be 16 seconds ahead of people during the green flag runs, wow. I mean, they must have had their shit together, bud.
Oh, absolutely. They had a perfect setup
That's
and
all.
music.
I mean, there ain't nothing else you can say. But they were on point, and they came to win that race.
Oh yeah, they're trying to prove a point big time. So,
Uh, now that, if you ask me, now that would define him as like the king of the streets of how his 7 career victories, 6 have now been achieved on temporary street circuits. So that is amazing. I mean, like they want to, like they say in NASCAR, the king of concrete. Well, this dude is the king of the street, but like there
right.
ain't nothing else I could say about it.
Yeah, there's no touching for
But
sure. 6 out of 7 wins in your career, and they're all on temporary street courses. That's impressive.
so
I know we had quite about between 3 to 5 caution flags. I know and some names I was shocked to hear when they got taken out of the race, but that's racing for you. So,
what the broader narrative arc of the 2026 IndyCar season was violently altered due to the catastrophic collapse of Álex Palou's race. Now, entering the
oh,
weekend, he had an insurmountable 133-point lead, uh, and he secured the pole position. But he suffered a drive-through penalty, if my notes are correct, for pit lane equipment interference, followed by a loose wheel on a subsequent stop that dropped him off the lead.
yeah. From what I read as well, that sums it up right. You are correct.
So
I
they had to push and recover lost time, and Palou ultimately spun out, resulting in a 20 place finish. And the ripple effect is profound. The points gap between Palou and Kirkwood was slashed from 133 to 91 points with only 3 races remaining in the season. Now, that is shifting the psychological momentum squarely into the Andretti Global Garage.
oh, absolutely. I mean, just again the mindset of Palou and the Ganassi team, and trying to tell them that they're going to run away with this championship. They're coming for them. So,
So, I mean, but to go back to just how fast they were, I mean, they must have been executing everything perfectly on pit road, in the garage. I mean, everywhere.
oh yeah, they checked off every box that you could with the way that they had done executed the pit stop, set the car up, how the driver performed on the track. I mean, and then of course cut that lead of Palou's big time with 3 races to go, like you were saying. It's
Yeah, that's I don't know, and I don't know how IndyCar points work, but it seems like that's actually not very hard to overcome when it comes to IndyCar.
I know IndyCar they reward a lot more points, I believe, than NASCAR does. But I could be wrong. I don't think they do like a bonus for leading the most laps like NASCAR does. But
Yeah, I
uh,
I have no idea how it works, but it's like the dirt track points are, you know, each series is different, but like the World of Outlaws, David Gravel's so far ahead that he's really going to have to step on his meat a few times to lose the championship this year. I mean, and we're halfway through the season. I don't like how the points work with that. I think it's ridiculous, but I mean, it is what it is.
yeah, I really hope that I've watched a few of his last few races he's won. And I really hope David Gravel can win the championship. He's impressed me a lot. Isn't it like a tight battle between him and Rico Abreu, or is that a different series?
Rico is a high limit driver. David Gravel's World of Outlaws. It was mainly between him and Carson Macedo, but um, Rico and Aaron Reitzel have been battling it out in high limit. Aaron Reitzel's actually found some speed this year, and I mean he's always been fast, but this year they found just that little bit more, right along to or right alongside of Rico, and it's been a pretty good battle all year long. So I'm excited to see how that one's going to finish out this year. But I suppose I didn't think he was going to be with us tonight. But let me change this around. I'm just going to have to do it this way. There we go.
I'm back.
So, oh no, we move on to NASCAR. So,
I guess we'll switch groups to NASCAR, like Russ was saying.
I haven't fully made it home yet. We actually drove from New Hampshire to Pennsylvania this morning. We still got about 4 hours left. But we hit Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut on the way here. We stopped at Lime Rock on the way here, so we're still getting there. I'm about I think it's 3 or 4 hours still left in our trip home. But yeah, not Pocono. New Hampshire was actually really fun this weekend, minus the rain racing and Carson Hocevar basically screwing us racing in the rain, starting early. I didn't catch him spinning prior because we couldn't see it from where we were. But that was one of the more wilder races I think I've ever seen at New Hampshire. I used to say I hated New Hampshire, This one's a little bit different because that was probably the craziest race I've seen in a long time. I don't know if you guys covered the truck race and the modified race, but those were absolutely wild prior. I don't know if you covered those yet or not. I joined in a little late.
I didn't do any NASCAR yet. So,
okay, so we'll start with the truck.
Somebody's freezing up. And I know it ain't me because I got a full Wi-Fi signal right here. So
it might be me. Let me see if I need to come up. Let's try that. See if that makes it any better.
But,
9 in.
Yeah, you have.
Can you guys still hear me?
All your other. Oh, we hear you. Yeah, we hear you just fine. The video is okay. I don't know.
Better now?
So it's a little better, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any headphones with me. Yeah, the Truck Series race was definitely a very close points battle. I think we talked about that last week. It actually came down to Stuart Friesen and Tyler Ankrum battling for the final spot. And it ended up Stuart Friesen just didn't have the tires he needed. He ended up dropping to 2 places out. And Ben Rhodes, who was 8th at the beginning of all this, ended up finishing 9th, I believe, out of the point standings. So it was a very wild battle to the finish. At one point, they were separated by 2 points. Then it became 1 point, and with, I think 10 laps to go, they were tied. So definitely a crazy, crazy points battle in the truck race. Congrats to Lane Riggs. He absolutely just whacks the field again. Definitely a good race for him. Lots of chaos. We had, I think it was the one truck, just lost it going to turn 1 right in front of us and hit the wall like a freight train. I have never seen a truck spin and hit the wall so hard in my life. We thought he was coming out of the track when he hit the wall, driver's side first. He actually hit in turn 1 and ended up in turn 2. Almost to the exit of turn 2, where he hit at the entry. He actually hit backwards and rolled the entire way around. But that was, at least what I had for the truck race. The modified race was definitely started out very, very crazy. I believe the points leader actually hit the wall very early in the race. He blew a bead out on the tire somehow. They haven't determined how. But one of the left front tire bead actually burst, sending him hard into the outside wall. He actually only had one wheel on the ground at one point. He hit the wall and basically rode the fence the entire way around the track to the exit of turn 2. Had basically the right side tires up against the fence. The left rear was on top of the wall, and the left front was the only thing touching the ground the entire time he went through the corner. It was probably the wildest crash I've ever seen in a modified race. And then we actually left with about 50 laps to go because it was pouring down rain. They did go on. I forget who ended up winning the race. But it ended up finishing about an hour after it was initially scheduled to finish. And they had, it said zero rain for the next 60 minutes. But it was raining at the track, so the weather was not exactly predictable for them. Cup race started out very wet. We got the gentlemen who got the opening ceremonies, and they ran the cars out on track, and they did, I think, 3 laps under caution. And Carson Hocevar decides he's ready to go. He gives a thumbs up and loops it in front of the pace car coming down the front stretch. The audio from the other drivers might have been the funniest part about that entire ordeal. Was Carson just looping it out of nowhere in front of the pace car, Joey Logano giving his 2 cents. It was rather funny. But we did eventually end up going green. SVG looked like he was going to win this race if they kept it on tires. He tracked, or I guess I should roll that back. Tyler Reddick ended up winning the pole. I forget who had second, but they, go off for the first green flag lap, and Tyler Reddick loops it coming off 4, which was just par for the course for him. He literally had a miserable day. He needed to have a good day and had anything but. But so he spins out on the opening lap. They waved their yellow flag. So I believe it was William Byron and SVG on the front row at that point. William Byron led for a few laps, but SVG tracked him down from a ways back and just reeled him in, finally passed him, and SVG was leading laps on an oval. And then I guess they did some sort of mandatory caution where everybody went from the rain tires to the slicks, and immediately you saw SVG's advantage just disappear. It was out the window. So we go back racing, and I believe it was Bell who had the lead for a little bit. Byron dropped back through the field like a rock. We did have a few different incidents with none other than Connor Zilic. Connor Zilic and Carson Hocevar got together on the front stretch, causing what I deemed was a pretty big crash. It collected Joey Logano, Austin Dillon. Carson Hocevar ended up hitting the inside wall. He went down pit road backwards. He actually went the reverse way to get his stuff fixed. His day just was not going well. Later on in the race, we had Michael McDowell get pinched by Riley Herbst, and for lack of better terms, McDowell just sent Riley Herbst into the outside wall, and that was a pretty massive hit. Connor Zilic was in turn 2 when Riley Herbst hit the wall, and he goes off into turn 3, locks the brakes up, and just absolutely drills Riley Herbst, ending his race. He was just, you could hear the frustration on the radio. It just was a bad day for Trackhouse. They were doing really good at first. Ross Chastain dropped out in the stage 1. SCG was doing good, but he dropped off the moment they changed tires, and then Zilic doing Zilic things. I know that they talked about Zilic going to the 48. I've just proven my point that he's definitely not as good as they think he's going to be, and I'm worried about him. But let's get down to the finish. It was Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, and Josh Berry of all people. They were in a pretty heated battle for the win. They were all pretty close, fighting through lap traffic. Bubba made one slip up. He locked the brakes up going into turn 3, and that was all she wrote for Ryan Blaney to go on and score his second consecutive New Hampshire win in back-to-back years. Towards the end of the race, we actually had some sun. It was actually really cool because we went from pouring down rain and really cold to it started getting a little brighter, and all of a sudden we finished the race under sun. So it was pretty awesome. My personal experience with New Hampshire, I am not a fan of the way they have the track set up for the fan zone. There's definitely some room for improvement there. I mean, they've been doing this for a while. It's not my favorite, I'll tell you that. I know for Russ and I, when we go to the track, you can have, usually the fan zone is in one area and you have all the drivers going to the autograph sessions in the fan zone. At New Hampshire, they had one trailer in the fan zone and the rest of them were inside the track where they're doing the autograph sessions, and you had to have a ticket just to go buy the merchandise. So they had one Hendrick trailer outside the track, and that was it. Everything else, you had to have a ticket to go get, buy merch. If you didn't want to watch the race, you just want to buy merch, you still needed a ticket to go buy that stuff. So I was very disappointed with that. Very disappointed with, I guess my standards are a little high after San Diego, but I was kind of disappointed with the amount of vendors in the fan zone. There was a little less than desired, groups there. It was kind of just, I think they had maybe 4 small groups and they had a carnival, but like the second day there wasn't as much as I thought there would be. I was a little surprised how low it was. At first, when the weather was really good on Saturday, I thought it was great. But when it came down to the Sunday stuff, it was a little more. It was a little disappointing, I guess, is a good way to put it. It was kind of cool to see it, but it just, I don't know. my review on it, I don't think I'll go back. I mean, unless I got free tickets again, I probably wouldn't worry about it. It was a good race. I mean, I won't say it wasn't, but it just the overall experience wasn't my favorite, but it also wasn't the worst, I guess. So that was my review. I don't know if you guys had anything else. It looks like Russ might be having issues. That might be my fault. But
Yeah,
did you get to watch the race, Jason?
I actually watched little bits and pieces. I was more listening to Philip from AZ Tronics. I was listening to his stream on
Okay.
Sunday, calling the race pretty good. And I mean, from the way he was calling it, it sounded like it was a really good race. I saw the highlights afterwards, and I was like, wow, that was pretty spot on with what he was saying
Yeah.
during the stream. So
I will say I watched a little bit of the what do they call it, the Freedom 250, I think they called it, or Freedom of America 250.
oh yeah, the Freedom 250.
We watched a little
it.
bit of that, but the Wi-Fi was horrible, so we couldn't watch it real good.
If you want to watch like racing on your phone for a free stream and get great quality, got a DD12.
That's what we used. There was just no cell service at New Hampshire. That's the one thing that sucks about being from that far south is they really have no cell service up there without the Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi was so overloaded at the track that you couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I heard that New Hampshire's out there in both freaking Egypt. So
it was. I mean, it's getting to the track is not bad. I mean, yes, it's like most tracks where it's one way in and one way out, and when they are leaving the track, they streamline it to where it's normally 2 lanes, one each way, or it's 2 lanes going the same direction. It is the only part I do like is that in New Hampshire when they leave, they do 3 lanes, but 1 lane going the opposite direction. So they have the 2 lanes of travel going the way they came, and then they have the shoulder on this side. The problem with that is all the people decide they're going to walk down the shoulder, and you can't use the shoulder. Then you got to dodge and weave around people, and it's just a mess. But I did think the way they streamlined people getting in and the way they streamlined people getting out, I thought was definitely a good thing. If it actually worked, it was a bit of a struggle, but it did work a little bit.
yeah,
I missed it, but how about Jeff Gordon winning both IROC races? I was pretty ecstatic about that.
yeah, that was pretty neat. I mean, I saw the highlights. I was at work on Saturday when they were running those.
I missed it. I didn't even know it was on TV.
Yeah, by the time I go ahead, Russ. What were you saying?
I don't know if Russ is back. I was waiting to see if he's on yet.
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's there. I guess we'll add him back. There we go.
Kind of looking at the
I
macho.
wasn't. I didn't want to be added back. That's why I could have added
No,
myself back.
I don't have much else left. I'm just sitting in the hotel. I didn't have a whole lot from the stands. It was okay. Apparently we missed a lot of good stuff during the broadcast. The whole William Byron wheel coming off thing. I do want to cover that. I did forget about that. From what I understand, that left rear wheel had been loose for a number of laps. They had just come down pit road for right side tires, not left side, right sides. And apparently they never went back to check to make sure that tire was tight, which that is definitely a ball dropped by the Hendrick team. I am shocked that they made that mistake. That's a very uncharacteristic mistake by a Hendrick team. But the fact that that tire held on that car that long was wild to me. That they had literally just been on pit road for right side tires, not left side, right sides, and the left rear wheel came off. I don't know how that thing stayed on there that long. You would think that thing would wiggle itself loose and go flying away earlier.
That almost sounded like a Ron White joke where you said the left rear wheel come off. I think Jason knows what I'm talking about.
I do.
But
That
I've
was a good.
never seen a tire hold on that long from being that loose. I didn't even know the lug nut wasn't even on it until he went off into turn one the first time. The car just went straight, and he made it all the way back around before it finally came off the car. I mean, it's not like it really. I mean, looked like it hit the wall hard, but when you look back at it, it really didn't do a whole lot of damage to the car. I was kind of surprised. It was more of a backed it in kind of hit, and I thought it would have back crushed a lot more, and it really didn't. I was kind of surprised by that.
That's, that was crazy, but
That
okay.
was
So
definitely the loudest moment.
I'll give my summary real quick of what I got.
Okay.
So the 301 lap event was fundamentally dictated by shifting meteorological conditions and early start, or not an early start, an early rain shower delayed the start. It forced NASCAR officials to mandate the wet weather tire compound. Uh, am I am I good so far? Like I said, I didn't watch anything that
They
wasn't
moved the
dirt this
race up to
weekend.
2 o'clock, and the race it immediately started raining at 2 o'clock. They literally did not start racing until 3 o'clock, which was the original scheduled time. Had they not moved the race up at all, we would be having
All
a
right.
whole different story here.
So they ran what, the first 40 laps on the grooved wet tires,
That sounds
and
about right.
obviously during that run, the track uh, transitioned from damp to dry, and the variable, that early variable, uh, scrambled the running order. It disrupted the pre-race aerodynamic setups, and it established a frenetic pace that resulted in 9 cautions. I mean, that's crazy.
I had to think, was there 9 cautions that early in the race? I had to think about that. I think it was over the course of the race, there was 9 cautions.
I think that was the whole race. But I mean, you don't
Yeah.
even really see 9 cautions at New Hampshire.
Well, yeah, most of them were. I think that might have been the most chaotic race we've had in New Hampshire in a long time. Usually they'll run green to checkered, green to green checkered, green to green checkered, green to green checkered, and that's it. Like
So
that was chaos.
the narrative ultimately belonged to Ryan Blaney, and that's his third victory this year.
Yeah.
Now, that marked what? Back-to-back victories at New Hampshire
Yes.
and defending his 2025 title and cementing his status as an elite flat track tactician.
And a 2-time lobster mounter. He's got 2 lobsters on the wall now, which is still funny.
So once the racetrack got dry, Blaney became dominant, and he led what, 115 laps,
That sounds right.
and the race was actually decided on a final pit stop sequence under caution. So knowing that track position was paramount at Loudon, Blaney's crew chief made a bold call, and he only took right sides, while everyone else took 4. So the call actually won them the race off pit road, but placed the burden entirely on Ryan Blaney to actually manage the grip and balance over the long green flag run to the finish. So the final stint evolved into a spectacular duel between Blaney and his closest off-track friend, Bubba Wallace. Anyway, um,
On
Wallace had
top of
four. Wallace
on
had
top
4 tires, so that closed the gap like rapidly.
yeah.
And with 5 laps to go, Wallace drove deep into 3, but locked up his brakes on the corner entry. So that severely flat spotted his tire and made the car vibrate bad, gave it a bad vibration. So that compromised all of his speed. So after that, Blaney just cruised to a half a second victory over Wallace and Josh Berry, which finished third.
I was gonna say the
That,
one. Go.
that's my take.
The pit stop at the end of stage 2. Blaney even had pit road issues. I believe they got hung up on the left front, which I would have thought would have ended his race, but it just showed that Ryan just drove his way back through the field. From being having an issue on pit road again to going on and basically dominating the end of the race. I mean, I believe it was a 70, 115, 116 lap stages, and they were on top of it. They were kind of in the hunt all day. Really didn't really seem like they were that fast in qualifying, but they were just kind of there when they needed to be, and it worked out in their favor. I can't hear you.
That it seemed
There we
like it
go.
was a wild day. I was too far from my microphone.
You're good.
It seemed like it was a wild day for everything when it came to asphalt racing this week.
It was a very roller coaster weekend at New Hampshire. That was probably the most roller coaster I've seen that entire. I mean, we had 3 major crashes across 3 major days or 3 major races. I mean, they had major crash in the truck series that had points implications. Or I don't think it had points implications, but they still had some pretty crazy crashes there. Definitely points implications in the modified race. And then the Cup race had all kinds of point implications. Ross Chastain dropped out in stage 1. Like, he wasn't even remotely a factor in this race, and he's towards the cutoff. SVG, I thought his points lead was a little closer, but I kind of thought it was going to shrink more than it did. I think he's only like 30 some points ahead of Ryan Preece. And I'm pretty sure Ryan Preece finished 4th. So not a bad day, but definitely not what he needed to catch SVG. SVG has to have a bad race at Daytona, but be out in stage 1 or 2 for Ryan Preece to have a chance. And Ryan Preece's history at Daytona isn't exactly something to stay on the ground about.
God.
I mean, sorry, I couldn't help myself there.
That's how you really feel.
I am really, really concerned about Ryan Preece making the playoffs, because I'm sure if he does make the playoffs, we won't be able to hold him on the ground.
Far out, man.
But I'll tell you, it was a crazy weekend all around. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on at home too. So I mean, nothing bad. Just very busy. So
Gordon won the IROC race. I don't know if you heard that part. He won both of them.
I did see that. I did. What the hell do you mean both of them? Did they have 2?
Yeah, they invert the field after the first one.
Oh, for crying out loud!
So he went from last to first, and then went from last to first again.
I mean, that ain't nothing new for Jeff Gordon. He's done it plenty of times, but
I think the last time he did that was 1997. Anybody who knows that reference understands that one.
Oh, yeah.
Which, conveniently enough, they had the setup of the modified in that car, which is funny to me.
So, as we're getting low on time, I do want to take the time to thank all of our fans. Thank everyone that supports us, other channels, and give a huge shout out to our friend Phil over at AZtronics, who is always throwing us out there on his channel. We appreciate that. And guys, if you love NASCAR, make sure you go see and check out Phil's channel, AZtronics on YouTube. Amazing content, awesome guy. I really like what he does over there. So go give him a shout, subscribe, and tell him you heard about him right here on Switch of Grooves. But also, coming soon, not Not sure yet. Um, there will be changes to this channel. So
Ooh.
I do intend to separate the shows from NASCAR and the dirt. And I would also eventually, once he's comfortable and gets everything set up for himself, let Jason come on and do his own thing with the IndyCar world. I would love to see this channel expand and become more like Dirty Mo and have individual shows, and even possibly you guys find other hosts to help you with it. I mean, obviously, I'm always down to help and host with you guys, but that's what I want to do. I want this to become a little bit more than just a once a week deal for a couple guys.
Yep.
I want to see it grow, and hopefully I can get the right people in the right places, on screen and off screen. So
Yep.
just something that I'm working on, and I am working on a new logo to rebrand the channel just a little bit. I'm not going to change the name or anything, but I may rename the dirt channel a little bit, but nothing super drastic. But just want to let everybody know that. So I know that some of our fans, they'll tune in for a portion of the show and then they'll tune out. So that could cut down on times for the shows and not take up so much of other people's times. And then have to come up with some kind of material or ramble on about whatever to just fill the time slot. So hopefully that can actually happen and it works out for us. So, but I don't know how you guys feel about that. I hope you're excited about it.
Oh,
But
I'm all for it.
but I think I'm pretty much done as far as the news. You guys have anything to add before we close?
I don't get anything on my end. That's all I had. I did pick up some new merch for the studio for us, but that's about it. I got some cool stuff.
Sounds exciting. I'm sure you're going to send me all kinds of pictures when you get home. So,
I sent you a few of them.
but okay, so as the calendar turns toward late August and September, the stakes will reach their absolute apex across all major series. NASCAR, the regular season comes to a dramatic conclusion at the World Center of Racing. Daytona International Speedway will host the Winn-Dixie 250, powered by Coca-Cola, for the Xfinity Series on August 28th, followed by the Coke Zero Sugar 400 for the Cup Series on August 29th. With playoff spots on the line, the unpredictable drafting dynamics of Daytona guarantee maximum variance and desperation. In IndyCar, Álex Palou will look to defend his shrinking championship lead as the series shifts to the Snap-on Milwaukee Mile 250, which is a doubleheader on August 29th and 30th. So the tight, flat 1 mile oval will create dense lap traffic and high collision probabilities. As far as high limit racing, the West Coast swing continues with an event at the famous Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico, California, this Thursday, August 27th. And the All-Star Circuit of Champions, their tour leaves Michigan and heads east, visiting Freedom Motorsports Park in New York on August 28th, before traveling to Sharon Speedway in Ohio on August 29th. So the motorsport events well, over this past week were overwhelmingly characterized by the triumph of specialized expertise and strategic aggression over raw baseline speed. From Logan Schuchart's veteran navigation of the abrasive clay at Jackson Motorplex to Kyle Kirkwood's dominance on the concrete of Washington, D.C., and Ryan Blaney's two-tire strategic mastery on the flat asphalt of New Hampshire, championships in the modern era are won by organizations that can optimize their mechanical packages for highly specific geometries. As the various series push into September, conservative points racing strategies will be heavily punished. Drivers and crew chiefs must embrace the high variance, razor edge tactics that defined this week's victors. But that's going to do it for this week, guys. And don't forget, we bring you recaps, breakdowns, and all those adrenaline packed moments every week. Whether you live for those sideways mudslinging dirt track sliders or the door banging, paint treading action in NASCAR, you belong right here. Hit that subscribe button now so you never miss a finish. Until next time, keep switching grooves. I'm Russ Fritz.
I'm Nathan Johns.
And I'm Jason Schweitzer.
We're telling you to race hard.
Stay safe.
And we'll see you there.
Good night, everybody.